Hey guys, it's Mike Chen. Sorry I've been gone for a while. I was actually in Singapore. If you want to see all that stuff, check out my vlog channel. But lots of news topic to cover, so let's just dive into it. First thing I wanted to talk about today is yet another just great way to motivate your company staff. And if you happen to be eating something right now, maybe just put that down for a second here. A company in Sichuan, China apparently is just owned by superb motivators because they decided to punish some of their staff who underperformed by making them drink toilet water. Yeah, that's exactly as nasty as it sounds, and it's even worse because it's Chinese toilet water, because the water is running barely above the toilet itself. I mean, looking at it, it wasn't like a traditional toilet where the water kind of pools. I mean, that's still nasty, but this toilet, the water is just barely running up above the bottom. It's just gross. Anyway, I'm feeling sick just talking about it, but here you can see the video. These staff members who look like they're about to throw up, they're scooping the water from the toilet and just drinking it. And look at this poor woman. She looks like she's about to cry or throw up, or maybe a little bit of both. So how this video leaked was that somebody filmed it and posted it on the company Weibo group, which is kind of like the company Facebook group. And the person who filmed the video was arrested and detained for 4 days by police. So hopefully they didn't just arrest the person filming the video, they actually would arrest the people who forced these poor individuals to drink toilet water. Anyway, according to the company's bosses, making employees drink poop water is a way to motivate them to do better. I mean, personally, I don't think this is proper motivation, but hey, what do I know? And this is just the latest in a string of crazy punishments companies have used in China to, motivate. Others include making workers eat a bitter melon and paddling them. And worst of all, you got this boss who makes all female workers kiss him every single morning. All right, before all hope is lost, let's talk about this next story. And this one is truly inspirational. Zhao Haifeng lost both of his arms due to an electrical accident when he was only 3 years old. But that has not stopped him from becoming a package carrier. Zhao created a customized bike that allows him to ride without using his arms, and he can basically do anything anyone else can do. Zhao's wife also accompanies him on his deliveries and helps him out, but it's not easy for her as well because she also suffers from polio. Zhao makes around 2,000 to 3,000 yuan a month, which is enough for his family to get by, and he says that he just wants to work and provide a good living for his family. So there you go. You know, life is really not easy for anyone. I mean, we all have our own problems. Even rich people have their problems. I mean, those probably involve the really difficult decision of which of their, 30 houses to stay in next week. But the point is, life is not easy for anyone. Just thinking about it, can you think of a time when you went for a week without something bad or stressful happening? Even if you're on vacation, you're on your honeymoon, and it could be like a headache or somebody was rude to you. Life is just like an endless series of stress and challenges. And they could be little minor things like I mentioned, the headache, or they could be huge things like losing a loved one. But my point is, life is not easy. Life is a series of up and down, of dealing with adversity. In this story, a man who has lost his arms at the age of 3, his wife suffers from polio, but he's just happy to work and put food on the table and not letting his disability get the better of him or identify him. And I think that's just pretty darn amazing. So all the best to him and his family. Okay, finally, this is Joshua Wong. Wong is 20 years old and he is facing prison in Hong Kong. Not because he stole something or hurt someone, but because he took part in kicking off a massive pro-democracy protest in Hong Kong 3 years ago called the Umbrella Revolution. So 3 years ago, on September 26, 2014, Wong and a small crowd of fellow student activists climbed over a fence to protest on the forecourt of Hong Kong's government headquarters to oppose what they viewed as political and social encroachment by China. And the space they occupied was originally open to the public, but it was fenced off just to keep democracy activists out. And that night, when Wong and his fellow activists were occupying the space, they were pepper sprayed and arrested. And 2 days later, tens of thousands of Hong Kong people took to the streets in response to the clash and to protest China's interference in Hong Kong elections. The protest lasted close to 3 months. And here's the thing, originally sentenced to just community service, Wong and other protest leaders Nathan Law and Alex Chow were given prison sentences of 6 months, 8 months, and 7 months respectively because Beijing-backed local government successfully pushed for harsher punishments. And if these 3 individuals do go to prisons, it will basically make them Hong Kong's first ever prisoners of conscience. So let me explain what's going on here. Hong Kong has returned to China since 1997, but promised free election in Hong Kong. And although the people of Hong Kong has a right to vote, the nomination of the candidates are controlled by a 1,200-strong election committee built by pro-Beijing figures. And in August of 2014, Beijing passed a reform framework basically to stipulate universal suffrage on its own terms by saying only 2 or 3 committee-vetted candidates who love the country would be allowed to run. So then this of course made a lot of people upset, which is why the protest started. The protest, although big in size, was largely very peaceful, and I get it. The people of Hong Kong, they wanted democracy, they were promised democracy, and in a very sneaky way, it was taken away from them, so I'd be mad too. But here's why the prison sentences for these activists is so important. Hong Kong law states that anyone sentenced to 3 months or more will be legally disqualified from running for political office for 5 years. And this is especially impactful to Nathan Law, who at 23 became the youngest lawmaker ever elected to Hong Kong's legislature. But he was ousted by pro-Beijing colleagues over claims that he disrespected China during his oath-taking ceremony. So basically, sending him to prison will not allow him to run for political office for another 5 years, which is a huge blow for democracy activists in Hong Kong. And after the sentencing on Thursday, Wang tweeted, "They can silence protests, remove us from the legislature, and lock us up, but they will not win the hearts and minds of Hong Kongers." And here's the thing, we kind of saw this happen in 1989. Students protested peacefully in Tiananmen Square and were basically massacred by the Chinese Communist Party. And although the umbrella protest didn't result in the same degree of suppression, the political results were similar. Basically, Beijing got their way, and they used their own ways of manipulation so that the young activists in Hong Kong will be stifled and basically set an example for future protesters. But I feel like one thing is different. Because this protest was in Hong Kong, there was huge media coverage, and Beijing cannot control the media narrative outside of China. Also, they can't control Hong Kong people from speaking out. They also can't censor Hong Kong. They can't censor information from flowing in. And because of this, the people of Hong Kong know that there are others who stand with them. There are a lot of people around the world who wants to see a democratic Hong Kong. And the thing is, prison is scary, right? Prison is really scary, even for 6 months. And Wang even mentioned that he's scared to go to prison. I mean, that's really understandable. But he does say that despite the fact that he's scared, he's still going to continue the fight. So I really do wish Wang and basically everybody in Hong Kong the best of luck. All right, guys, that's it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you later.